fade. Run with me. Clouds go by and the sun is set high. And I believe you when you say that this is never gonna change. Say, would you like to spend your day with me always? Be brave, we don't need far too much, just stay brave beside me. Happy days, running on the open fields, yeah. Take on me, I'm worth your while. Honestly, I'm running a bit wide. Be brave, we don't need far too much, just stay brave beside me. Happy days, running on the open fields, yeah. And I believe you when you say that this is never
I guess this is as good a time as any to say good morning, adventurers, and welcome back to my channel. I may have been hasty in taking my sweatshirt off because even though it is a comfortable 60 some odd degrees in the van, it is breezy outside and cold. So might have to tackle this day a little bit differently than I thought. I'm waking up in a beautiful place. I'm waking up in Prescott National Forest at a campsite that I have really been enjoying. But today we have something kind of cool happening. Today I'm going to go to town. I'm going to take a shower. I have some errands to run, and a little bit later on in the afternoon, Aussie Van Man's going to join us back up here again because we're going on some adventures on the weekend. I'm really excited about this because one of those adventures is something that I've been putting off doing solo because basically he has expertise in it, so I really wanted to hear what he has to say because I think that sometimes there's value to, if you have friends who have been there before, just going with them so that they can tell you about all of the neat little things. Now, I genuinely enjoy finding the little things on my own also, which is what I've been doing here in Prescott, and I found some really cool things. However, sometimes if somebody's been there more than once, they just know where to go, and then you can get more bang for your buck in a shorter amount of time. And so I'm really excited about that. So we're going to be doing those adventures here on the channel, and you'll see those. But right now I'm chilly, like super chilly. So I think I'm gonna reassess my sweatshirt and then start to move around a little bit. I'm gonna take you guys with me on my day. It has been so nice here. Definitely a difference from Phoenix. Phoenix was starting to get toasty. And not really a big fan of being super toasty in the van. I've done that before. I've traveled to a lot of places. I've been stuck in the van in high temperatures. In fact, part of the reason why I ended up with an air conditioner was because I started seeing that more and more I was ending up in those places. But I wasn't expecting to be out this long. I was expecting to have already gone back to Texas. And because I haven't, my air conditioner's not in the van. So I'm trying to avoid as much of the heat as I can. With that said, I am going to be going back down to Phoenix to wrap up some last minute adventures and things like that I'll share with you guys also. But, man, coming up to higher altitude really changes your perspective on how you feel because it just reinvigorates you. Now, mind you, I had hand warmers last night. I shoved it in all my little pockets because I was cold. Got down to the 40s last night. And, you know, that's give or take. You can always bundle up more, but it's harder to like get rid of the heat out of a van than it is to get warmth into the van. So yeah, just kind of some morning thoughts. I have a lot of stuff to do though, so let me figure out where exactly I'm gonna go first. I think I'm gonna go take a shower first, which means I need to put together my shower bag. I like to do it before I go, simply so I'm not digging around and people being able to see in the van, and it's just a safety thing. The longer that you're sitting there with your doors open in a public space, the longer somebody can see what's in there while you're away from your van. And because I travel solo, I just try to limit that a little bit. I'm not thinking everybody who's at Planet Fitness is going to be a bad guy, but all it takes is one. And I have some things in here I don't really want people to be like, ooh, look at that. That looks fun. Let's go get that, because we know she's inside. So I'm going to go ahead and get my shower bag together, and then we're going to hit the road. I don't even know if I'm going to take off pajamas. Realistically, because it's cold, I might just put my sweatshirt back on and just go like this, and I'll look a little scrubby, but I'm about to take a shower. It doesn't really matter, so it is what it is. But before we go, you probably saw I was putting something on my neck, because my neck has kind of got a crick in it this morning. I slept weird. So that's not fun. I'm going to smell like a peppermint, and I'm going to make sure I put that in my shower bag too, so I can put some more on if it's still hurting. And also, I think I'm going to grab a couple little bites before I go. I'm not usually a big breakfast kind of person, but at the same time, I need something. And so I have found that these peanut butter bites by Mountain House are just the trick. I can take a few of these and just pop and go, and usually it puts me in a pretty good direction forward. I also pop these into little snack bags and take them with me whenever I'm hiking or out and about, just in case I have one of those moments where I feel weak or like I'm overheating and I need something to get my body back going. And these are really good. Now, I know you're probably saying, why are they not in their original pouch? Well, because I have 3 or 4 different kinds in here, and I like the lottery of being able to just draw out some different flavors. So there's like apple cinnamon, there's chocolate, and then there's regular peanut butter. And I just put them all into this one bag because this one bag takes up way less room than 3 bags. I'm always about finding things to reduce things and how much that they take up in my van, because I do have such a tiny space. So with that said, let's grab a couple peanut butter bites, then we'll pack our bag, and then we'll move on. Oh yeah, we got a good sampling here. You can tell by the colors. Okay, time to back up. And I think I'm just gonna take this bag, throw my deodorant in here, grab some clothes, and then put my towel on top. And then I think we're ready to go. Normally I would carry in my big case also, but I think I have everything I need in here because I had some small shampoos that I picked up along the way that I needed to use. So I just went ahead and put them in here. I have a body wash, a shampoo, a conditioner. I might want to grab a razor though. So I'm going to put my razor in here also. We'll fill it with clothes. And then I think we can tackle today, I think. I don't think I'm missing anything else. Normally I have a routine every single morning that I go through, but every so often I wake up like today and I'm just like, I want to stay cozy. So I stay in bed a little bit longer, and that just kind of throws off my whole rhythm. And it's just like whenever I was in a regular house, there's days when I would work. And then on my off day, I'd be like, ooh, I'm going to sleep in. And then I would sleep in, and then I would feel like I was missing out on the productivity side of my day. So that's kind of what's happening today. I'm not that far removed from my normal wake up time. However, when you have a routine of kind of things that you do every day and then you don't do them, it's kind of weird. It's just kind of weird. Okay, today I decided I was just going to grab a regular t-shirt, which happens to be a Nomad News shirt. All my things got pretty wrinkled because I delayed putting them away and the weather changed. And so the more that I delayed, the more wrinkled they became, and it just is what it is. So it's fine. I'm also going to bring this little tracksuit with me because this is easy to put on after a shower. I always like to have something that's a bit easier because no one wants to put on tight clothes after their body's moist. And so I've got that, and then it has a hoodie that goes with it. So this is a whole set that I can wear, and that'll keep me a little bit more cozy. Now I pull this guy out and just do a once over to make sure I don't need anything else that's in here. I do need my face wash, and potentially I need my razor. So let's get it out. So both of those are going in the bag. So I'll put them in there. Other than that, I think I have everything else I need already in the bag. So that's good. Now, for those of you who are curious, I also have a toothbrush already in the bag. I ended up with one of those tiny little demo toothbrushes and a demo toothpaste. So I need to use those before I get back into my bigger one, because I try to use the smaller ones before the bigger ones when I do have the option of the bigger stuff, just because that way that's less stuff that I have in my bag. I try not to carry the little ones as much now because I end up going through so many of them and I feel like that's kind of wasteful. So I've been trying to use the bigger ones, and oh my gosh, it's been so handy. In fact, do you guys remember the video where we were packing this guy up and all the cool things that were going in it? Well, at that time, I purchased this shampoo and conditioner like as a set. And I thought, oh, this will be good because this way I don't have to go and buy all the little ones. Well, look, you can see I've used a little bit over half of this one. And you can't really see this, but probably about the same. And I have been going since January. It is now almost the end of April. Mind you, I have tiny little short hair, so I don't have to use a lot. But if I would have had to buy the tiny ones, this same amount, I can usually get about 3 showers out of a tiny one, usually on average. So 3 showers out of a tiny one would have meant that every 3rd or 4th shower, I would have had to buy a new one. And with this, I've had to buy one. So it far exceeded its expectation on the value of the overall product. And even though it takes up a little bit more space, now that it has a space, it's worth it to do it. And so I think I got this duo right here on sale for like $6, $7, something like that, versus the little ones who are like $1 a piece. I would have spent 3 or 4 times, maybe 5 or 6 times at least the amount that I spent on these. So, you know, the good, the bad, you weigh it. There's pros, there's cons, and this was definitely a wise move. Now, something else I did want to address was this. I bought this so that I could use it as deodorant, and it does in fact work. This is the Ordinary. They have this glycolic acid toning solution. I saw this on TikTok that somebody was saying use this as deodorant, and it totally does work. However, because it's this liquid, sometimes it's not the most convenient to put on. And so I did go ahead and purchase a bar of deodorant also. And I've also been using the Lumi deodorant wipes, which I really like. But again, sometimes things just work better in one way or the other. So I've been trying a variety of different things, and I like all of those options. So none of them are bad. However, I just find that the bar of deodorant I can throw on and throw in my bag and then keep with me just in case on a super hot, sweaty day like the ones I was in Phoenix with. And this is something I can't do that with. So, you know, you give, you take, you find your happy median. Now, the Lumi deodorant sheets, I love those. However, I do need to find a place that has them in a larger bulk than just the travel packs. And I haven't found that while I've been on the road. So I'm probably going to order some of those because I really enjoy those. They're quick, they're simple. There's just a swipe and go kind of action there. And they've been pretty fabulous. So I would like to pursue going down the road more with Lumi, I think. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see the availability of which I can find them. That's the main thing. I've noticed that sometimes whenever I want to change things up on the road, even though it might be a better solution, sometimes it's also a more difficult solution just based on availability. And so if I can't get it sent to me in a certain place through like Amazon, or I can't get it at a Walmart drop box, I don't really like to go through the effort of general delivery at the post office. It's a personal thing. I know tons of people out there who do. However, personally, I don't like to plan my days enough to know when I'm going to be there. I like to kind of just go and move. And so general delivery, while it is a valid option, isn't necessarily always the best option for me personally. With that said, when I get back to base camp, it's going to be kind of crazy. I have a bunch of stuff that's coming to base camp, and I'm really excited about it, but at the same time, it's going to be a little overwhelming because I know for a fact that I have several products that I'm going to be testing. I have several things that I ordered for projects that I'm going to be working on in the van because I've been making a list of all the things that I'm potentially going to like change up just a little bit. Not anything crazy, at least as of now, but I've gone through the process of trying to in my mind visualize what exactly I want to do, because I'm going to have to empty everything out. And then in my mind, I've also been trying to say, what can I do while the van's not present? And what do I need the van present for? Because it's going to have to go in the shop. So for example, I have some painting to do and things like that. And all of that can be done while the van's in the shop, because it's all like shelf, bed platform, things like that. However, whenever I start loading the van back in, there's going to be a whole different set of challenges. And so I've been trying to like get my brain wrapped around that, because anytime you're making any kind of changes, it can get a little bit overwhelming. And I am not any different than the rest of you guys. I can look at the space and envision great things, but when it comes time to execute, sometimes because you have so many great things going on, it can be a little bit daunting. So I've been trying to get prepared mentally for that before I take off back to Texas. It's going to be a crazy time when I get back there. I have lots of stuff to do. I also am going to try to shoot some videos in the area that I am currently residing in and call base camp, because there's some cool things that are going on there. And so I have my list full. In fact, by the time I hit the road again, I'll probably be exhausted realistically. So with that said, we are packed up with the exception of our towel. I am going to go ahead and put my sweatshirt back on though. I am cold, and my little toes are out and they're getting pretty icy as well. It's amazing how much a breeze can change everything, but I'm not going to complain. It's been very nice, like I said. I have been looking forward to seeing the forest, and being up here has just brought me back to life. I haven't decided yet where I'm going to be going on my adventures this year, and so as I kind of sit down and think about that, I'm torn. I've got a lot of places that I want to go, and there's only so many months for which you can explore some of those places. And so I've been really thinking about pushing into a direction I haven't been before. In fact, a lot of you don't know this, but down in the description of the videos, I always have my scribble map. My scribble map is something that shows you a lot of the cool places that I've been, and it puts them on a map so you can physically see it. And I really like doing this, but I am currently super behind. For some reason, they changed the way that Scribble Map works a while back, and whenever they did, unless you have A1 service, it just doesn't work out on the upload and the move around and the do stuff. And so I haven't been able to work on it while I've been in the road, because even whenever I'm sitting at a Starbucks with dedicated Wi-Fi, in the Phoenix area, for some reason, it hasn't been the best. And when I came up to Prescott, I noticed that the Wi-Fi at the Panera Specific was the best Wi-Fi in town. I've tried out 2 different Starbucks and also Panera. Panera's the best, guys. Go there if you need Wi-Fi. Not to mention they have really good food, so pick up some food while you're there. It's delightful. Oh my goodness, their soup's so good, but that's beside the point. But I've noticed that when I sat down there, the Wi-Fi was much better and it would let me do things on the map. So whenever I get back to Texas, my goal is to really focus on the Scribble map and putting all the sites that I've been on that I haven't been able to upload in quite some time onto the map, so you guys can have a more comprehensive map of trails and places I've stayed, places I've done videos for cool stuff, museums, all sorts of stuff like that. And I started doing that because realistically, I would have people ask me, "Ooh, I'm going here, what should I do?" Well, I can send them the map and they can see what I've done at least, and then they can see the videos that correlate to that in a curated way, so that if they're interested in going somewhere, it would help them to see what's available to them without having to go through all 1,000 videos on my channel, which ultimately no one has time for that. I get it. If you're behind, catching up is quite a task on my channel because there's so many videos, and I wouldn't wish that on anyone. So this map gave me a way to help people plan their journeys without having to overwhelm them with information. And so I want to get back on doing that because it's just super handy. But the thing that I noticed when I was looking at my map is that I have some gaps. I have some areas that I haven't gone to that I really would like to go to. And so I think I'm going to put my focus this year on some of those so that I can see what's out there in our great big world in those places. And I'm really excited. At the same time, I started looking up those places and I was so overwhelmed, guys. There was so much in there that you could do, and so I know it's going to be something that I have to dedicate a lot of time and energy to. I also, though, am called to go to Glacier this year, and I don't know that both of those things can coexist, and the reason why is because Glacier is obviously in the west. I don't want to go west again this time. I went west last year and I spent a ton of time there and I had such a good time. and I love the coast more than most probably. However, I've been there and I want to go back there again, but I also want to go do these other things. And so I've kind of been stuck in this like state of turmoil. Where should I go? What do I want to do? Where am I being called to go? So all of those things have been on my mind. And as you can see, there's a lot, especially considering that I still have to have the van repairs. And on top of that, ooh, hi there guys. On top of that, I want to make sure that my time is spent in the most fulfilling way. Whenever I started my channel, and this is just me being a little bit more vulnerable with you guys, whenever I started my channel, I did it because, for one, I was inspired. I was inspired because I took a trip with a friend that I thought was just going to be a single trip to get some steam off. And somewhere along the way, I realized just how many things I hadn't seen, but more so how many things other people hadn't seen also. On that particular trip, you can see all of the places that we stopped in 2 weeks. 2 weeks can change your life. And I know that that sounds dramatic, but it really can. Because if you vow to yourself to do something, you never know what to expect. And if you keep your mind open to the possibilities, you could encounter something pretty amazing. During that time, we went to ruins, we went to the Grand Canyon, we went to Meow Wolf, we went to the ocean, and I was able to introduce my friend to all of these experiences for the first time while also introducing myself to several of these experiences. And it was just really profound to see not only my joy from thinking, oh my goodness, I can do this, because at the time I was really struggling with back issues and I didn't know if I could. And I pushed myself every single day to get through it. And by overcoming every single day, I was just completely blown away by how much that I physically could do, even though I didn't think I could. But also to see my friend's face the first time that we touched the beach in California. She'd never been before. And there was just a joy that came over her. And I knew that even though I thought this was going to be just like a fun thing between us, it turned into something that was a deeply personal experience. And 2 weeks of my life literally changed my trajectory going forward. And that's why I'm here today. It's amazing how simple things can do that. And the more that I look at that and the more that I envision what my life might have been like had I have not had the guts to do it, the more that I realize people every single day are living just existing. And that makes me sad. In fact, there's some of the people that I know that I'm still very close to in the DFW area who are literally doing the same things that they were doing whenever I was there. And that was 6 years ago. So the same things, the same routines, the same places, the same activities over and over and over. Guys, the definition of insanity is repeating the same thing and expecting a different result. So it really took me a lot of time to realize just how profound this journey could be. But by sharing this journey, how that it could potentially, and I was hoping and crossing my fingers and just, oh my goodness, I hope this comes through to people. I could lead by example, and potentially people could see what I'm doing and realize that they could do it too, because by no means am I an expert at any of the things that I do. Despite the fact that I sound super knowledgeable on my channel, I don't go into things knowing the most about that location. I don't go into things knowing the most about a product that I'm trying out or a place that I'm even going to. I'll do some vague research, but I want to live in the moment and experience it. And I think that that's how the average person goes on their vacation. They overplan, they align themselves with all of these activities, and they fill their time and don't allow themselves that expansion of growth that can happen whenever you just kind of wing it. And so, you know, I'm here 6 years later saying, hey guys, guess what? You don't always have to have all the answers all up front, and it's okay. Never did I think that 25,000 of you guys would care what I'm doing. Never did I think that thousands of you would watch a museum about something random and get geeked out like I do. And never in a million years did I ever think that I would have met most of the people that I have met along the way. In fact, one of the interesting conversations I had with some of my van friends recently was that if we would have all just been on our trajectory in our regular lives, our paths would have never crossed because we were in such different places. And even though we had similar things that were going on, which is why we all bond together today, we would have never had that opportunity to be in the same room at the same time because our lives were so vastly different. Some of my friends who travel now never traveled before. Some of my friends who travel now lived in other countries. Some of my friends who travel now, who I've met, have been in a place where they were in a long-term relationship that had no desire to get out and venture out into national parks, forest lands, things like that. But it's weird how life works whenever you just let life lead you in a direction and you go with it and you don't question it and you just live in that moment. And so those kind of conversations always kind of crack me up because it's like realistically, on one side I can see, oh, the people that I knew before this life, what are they doing now? Have they changed? Have they evolved? Are they still doing the same things? Then I can see the people who I've met. What would have happened if they wouldn't have decided to take that leap of faith to do something a little bit different? What would happen with my life if I hadn't encountered those people? There's a lot of what ifs, and it's kind of fascinating to see just how far my story has changed as a result of one fated decision, but also of the decisions of others. So guys, I said all that to say this. Trust your gut. Do whatever you feel convicted to do. If you feel that you want to try surfing or skateboarding or hiking or van life or going to more museums or eating at different restaurants with wild and crazy foods, what's stopping you? You are the only thing that stands between you and the next step. And you never know what that next step's going to bring to you because it could bring you all sorts of new friends. It could bring you amazing experiences. One thing affects another thing, affects another thing. I talk about it all the time. We have a ripple, and our ripple allows us to not only be an independent human in this world who's just floating along, but by our actions, it affects the things around us. And then those things affect things, and then those things affect things. And before long, your ripple has grown, and you are impacting the world around you. Do you want to do that in a positive way? Yeah, of course, we all do. So sometimes just trusting your gut and knowing that it's okay to take the first step, whatever that step may be, is what we should be doing. And we shouldn't doubt ourselves so much because a lot of times, especially as women, we live in the norms of society that tell us we have to be a certain way, look a certain way, do a certain thing, or exist a certain way. And you know what? I'm not here for that. I'm not here for that because I think we have a bigger potential than a norm or a standard. In fact, if we look back to who wrote those standards, I don't see a whole lot of women in charge of those. So I'm not saying that this message is only for women because I think that this genuinely does go out to every human being, but especially us women. We're the ones who set our precedents for what we expect, what we will allow, and what we look forward to in our futures. And so why not start off with something that we enjoy? Fact is, if we don't like something, we can always change it up again. It's not that big of a deal. The one thing that is consistent, however, is that life is short and we may or may not wake up tomorrow. And as long as we realize that and we take all of those moments and we live in those moments, we can have a very fulfilling life. I met a woman a long time ago whenever I was very early on into my journeys, and she made a comment to me that stuck with me. She was an elderly woman, and she was going to Crater Lake with her husband for the first time. Now, if you have seen my older videos, you know I happened to go there during possibly the worst weekend ever because part of Crater Lake was closed, and it was because of an event. I didn't plan ahead, and it is what it is. But this family also had gone during this time, and she was just so distraught. And it was sad to see how distraught she was. And we were talking to a ranger, and she said to me, you know, at least you'll be able to come back here again. I won't. I waited too long. And as we talked, she told me that basically she was preparing to die. And as morbid as that is, at the same time, there's a lot of truth that can come from that statement. She had told me that she had been very ill, and she'd been told that her life expectancy was very short. And so they were trying to do all the things that she'd wanted to do. And unfortunately, and this is one of the things that she emphasized to me, now she can't do all the things that she actually wanted to do because of her deteriorating health. And that really stuck. She told me that I had the opportunity to do it again, but she did not. And that waiting wasn't worth it. And so what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for to do the things that inspire you, that drive you, that get you going, that get you up in the morning, that make you happy? Are you limiting yourself to the after I retire, I'll do this, or the, oh, I can do this after my kids are grown, or, oh, I can do this whenever I have a little bit more vacation time? What's stopping you from taking small steps toward that goal every day? I know it sounds really crazy to put into that perspective, but I have carried that with me throughout the years of my travel because it was so impactful. I could see the pain. I could see how sad she was that she had missed out on all this life that she wanted to experience and just never allowed herself to do. And I could see that in that moment she had regret. I personally don't want to live with regret. So I try to live life fully every single day. And even though days sometimes look like they did this morning where I'm just, and then I'm cold and stuff like that, I'm still working toward the goals every single day that I have. And sometimes that just means normal things. It doesn't always have to look crazy working towards your goals. In fact, just getting up and go take a shower and then move into town and look for something fun isn't insane to think that you could do that too. And the fact of the matter is we all are going to be doing things in a different direction. It doesn't have to be everyone is van lifing or everyone is traveling in a plane or everyone is in an RV. All of our travel styles are going to look different and all of our goals are going to look different. I have friends who want to see every stadium in the country. I have friends who want to see every national park in the country. I have friends who want to go to every single roadside attraction that they can find. And all of those are valid because they're all what they personally want to do. Now, as for me, I just want to seek out as much knowledge as I can and share it with the world because I think that there's way too many cool things out there that we all tend to just miss. And so that's why you see so many strange, different, weird things here on the channel. And I have a lot more coming, just know that. I've been looking into some very interesting things that I want to share with you guys. Not necessarily that you'll want to get out there and be like, yes, let me go. But just to share that, and if one person goes away from that video saying, ooh, that would be kind of cool, then, I did my job. Not to mention, along the way, I challenge myself to learn as much as I can about random things because me personally, I'm a knowledge seeker and it geeks me out whenever I find something cool. Okay, guys, I'm also going to plug in my batteries this morning so that they can be charging, and I'm going to plug the power station in so it can charge while I'm driving. And last but not least, I always spray the Febreze on my curtain and then on the side of the bed. I also put my toilet back here for now because I didn't want to pop it down, and I can just put it right on the bed right there. Okay, guys, we are now in the front seat, and the last couple things that I do is I always plug my phone in so that it can be charging. That way I don't have to worry about charging it off of a power station. And then I take down my window stuff. You can see I already took down my sides, but now it's time to take down the front. And yeah, definitely chilly. My toes are froze right now, but it is kind of what it is. And found it. It is kind of what it is. And that's everyday life. Every day is going to be a little bit different. And so today is just a day where beautiful, sunny, cold. It is what it is. Okay, guys, we're here. My windows are dirty. The van's nasty, but we made it to Planet Fitness. So at least I won't be nasty anymore. Eventually I'll wash the van. I just don't see any point. I'm staying on a dirt road. It's been nice and moist, so I keep going through puddles. So really there's no point at this moment. But maybe at some point, before I get it fixed, I'll wash it. I don't know. I don't know. I always thought that whenever I had a regular car, it has to be clean all the time. But realistically, in van life, it's not something that is possible in most of the places I go to. Now, if I only was a city dweller, sure, I could be clean all the time. If I never went on forest roads, sure, it could be clean all the time. But the fact of the matter is, in the desert, in the forest, in the mountains, I have been through it all, and the van just sometimes is going to look clean and sometimes it's going to look dirty, and that's just kind of what it is. But that doesn't mean I have to look dirty. So I'm going to go inside and take a shower, and I'll see you guys in just a minute. Okay, we finished up at Planet Fitness. I'm running some errands, and then I'm going back to camp. Yay! It's a beautiful day. The clouds are brilliant, and the sky is so blue. It's perfect. And by errands, I mean that we're gonna go to Walmart, we're gonna pick up a few supplies, I'm gonna dump my trash. I don't need gas or anything because I did that the other day. Gas is a little bit cheaper up here, so I've been trying to like make sure that before I go back down, I remember to get gas. Although I will say since I got here, it's gone considerably up also. It's just that time of year, guys. Summer blends coming in and they start making excuses for the gas prices to rise. Okay, made it back to the van. The wind has been blowing me around a little bit, so I'm a little disheveled looking, but I'm about to go back to camp. I picked up some groceries, some supplies, some things that I need. And yeah, I also found this stuff right here. Look at all the bunnies, look at all the bunnies. Now, I know a lot of you are probably thinking, you're in a van, why are you buying these bulky items? But I also have a base camp. For those who haven't been watching my channel for a while, I travel about 75% of the year, but I do have a base camp. And since I will be going back to Texas to that base camp for a while, that could be an undetermined amount of time based on how long it takes them to fix my van, I wanted to have something that made me happy so that while I'm in my space, I can start working on some of the design elements of what I would like to see there. And so I found those things. It's always my favorite time of year, right after Easter, because everything goes on super discount. And so I got 3 different bunny related items that I can put in my base camp for just happy little joyful notes that express my personality. Hot pink bunny, that's super cute. Bunny napkin rings, also super cute. I also have a salt and pepper little thing that I have already at base camp that's really fun. And then I have several other bunnies that I'm going to be incorporating more and more into the design elements of my base camp as I'm there. And eventually maybe I'll show you what all that looks like. But for the time being, I found those things. And then I found the little Bluetooth speaker, which may be at base camp or may go on the road with me. I'm not sure. It just depends on how loud it is. So yeah, this was a really good trip. And as you can see, this has just been a very good day. The day has been something that started off with me being kind of, I don't want to get out of bed, it feels so cozy, to now I'm so happy that I did because I had a wonderful day. I was able to get my shower, I found some cool things, and now as I go back to camp, Aussie Van Man will be up here in a little while, and then we'll probably do some things and then have some dinner. So for now though, I'm going to wrap up this video. This has just kind of been a brief day in the life of me and kind of what goes on. I know I talked your ear off at the beginning of the video, but I'm hoping some of the things that I said really resonate with you. And if you're kind of on the fence about doing things, whether it's locally or getting out and traveling like I do, I hope that you will. I think it'll change the way that you see life and that you'll really enjoy those moments instead of letting them pass you by. Remember guys, we're not here for a long time, but we are here for a good time. And well, today, even though it's kind of mundane, it's been a good time. Till next time guys, bye.